So, if you're interested in learning from someone who is deemed the master of toughness by Kobe Bryant himself, I found a pretty good book for you. It's called Relentless, From Good to Great to Unstoppable, and it's by Tim S. Grover, who's also the one we're talking about. Um, so basically, a little bit about him and like who he was and stuff. So he is a world-renowned athletic trainer. He trained like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and now is like the CEO of Attack Athletics. And it seems like that's as of 1989, right? The book itself is about 231 pages, and it was published in 2013, right? And so, what is it really about? So he has this idea of being a cleaner, right? And what he does is basically, as he says, a blueprint to become unstoppable, thrive under pressure, and never let your emotions make you weak, right? And so it's really written from that kind of point of view. This isn't a book if you want to have a so-called balanced lifestyle. It's you better know what you want, right? How he defines a cleaner, and he has multiple the categories of people. There's cleaner, which is pretty much what the book's about. And then you have a closer, and so on. And I'll kind of let him go more in depth into each one of those, except cleaner. So basically, as he defines, the most intense and driven competitor imaginable is a cleaner. You refuse limitations, right? And so basically says the cleaners are predators with dark sides that refuse to be taught to be good, right? And he has something called the Relentless 13, hence the title of the book too. And basically it's like 13 different kind of things that you do if you're what he defines as a cleaner, right? And so to just go through the list, so you're a cleaner when you keep pushing yourself harder when everyone else has had enough. You get into the zone, you shut out everything else and control the uncontrollable. You know exactly who you are. You have a dark side that refuses to be taught to be good. You're not intimidated by pressure, you thrive on it. And when everyone is hitting that in case of emergency button, they're all looking for you, right? You're that guy, right? And so you don't compete with anyone. You find your opponent's weaknesses and you attack. You make decisions, not suggestions. You know the answer while everyone else is still asking questions. You don't have to love the work, but you're addicted to the results, right? You'd rather be feared than liked. You trust very few people. Those you do trust never let you down. They better never let you down. Um, you don't recognize failure. You know there's more than one way to get what you want, and you don't celebrate your achievements because you always want more. And one thing to note is that all of these on this list are labeled number one. I don't even know if I can get close enough for you guys to see that. Probably not. But anyways, they're all labeled number one. And it's only on page 31 in the book. So there's that too. And to clarify on the other categories, he has coolers, closers, and cleaners, right? And then basically, as he says, the difference is a closer can handle a lot of pressure, and he'll get the job done if you put him in the right situation and tell him exactly what you need him to do. A cleaner just knows, pretty much, just knows. And he pretty much describes it just as that. And then a cooler is basically the opposite. So a cooler is careful. He waits to be told what to do, watches to see what everyone else is doing, and then follows the leader. So kind of more of the follower, typically. But an interesting thing on how he defines cleaners too. So he says a cleaner feels burnout just like everyone else. But the idea of walking away and not thinking about what he walked away from creates more anxiety and stress than keeping it going, right? And the book really is about kind of having that mindset of being a cleaner, and what traits do you need, right? And how exactly do you kind of develop those traits over time? What kind of things do you need to do? How do you need to think? What sacrifices do you need to do to make things like that, right? And so, for another quote, on more of the darker side of things, he says the cleaners have a dark side and a zone you can't enter. They get what they want, but they pay for it in solitude. Excellence is lonely, and they never stop working physically or mentally. And so it's one of those things when you have to really know what you want if you're going to attack something like this, right? If these types of people are pretty alone. They're always working, right? There's always those people. But you can't argue that they're one of the best, period, in whatever they happen to be doing, because that's what they obsess over. That's all they do, period, right? That is their identity, and you can't really separate that. And this isn't obviously, well, you kind of have to do a cost benefit analysis between wanting to do this and being this type of person towards what you do and what you're giving up, because obviously it is going to require a lot of sacrifices, more than the vast majority of people would want to make, right? And the reason I say that is, I'm trying to figure out how to word it. I wouldn't say I've done something similar, but I have been that very obsessed about what I was doing with my life and that sort of thing for quite some time, to where that's quite literally all I did. And I literally did not do anything else besides what I was doing. And it's one of those things, in retrospect, wasn't entirely worth it, in my opinion. Now, to find something that is worth it, I think completely merits it. It really depends on you, what specifically it is, and that sort of thing, because that is a very dark place for people to go. But a last kind of quote on why you should read the book. So he says, this book is the blueprint for discovering what you are capable of achieving, getting results you never imagined, and reaching the highest level of success, and then going even higher. Right? So it really is that it's relentless pursuit of whatever it is you're doing, right? Choosing whatever. But it's a good book. He has little laws throughout it. So it says, cleaner law. If your name is on the door, you better control what goes on behind that door, right? And so just like little things on like how you need to act to be perceived as such, right? That's in there too. And some of it may or may not be a little counterintuitive, but a lot of it is going more in depth into each one of those Relentless 13 points that we talked about before. But anyways, I'll put a link to the book itself in the description, and I'll probably write the Relentless 13 in the description too, so it's just easier to see. There's a title, or the cover of the book again, if you guys want to see it. Overall, I mean, it's short. It's a pretty good book. You definitely have to keep it in mind on specifically what the content is and what you're trying to do. So there's that. But anyways, I'm gonna leave this one here. I'll put a card for the playlist for the rest of the book reviews and stuff that are currently up. So I'll leave that one up there, and I hope to see you guys on the next video.